Hello everyone, and welcome to a new crypto video. In today's video, we will be looking at Bitcoin and answering a question that I often see in chats and here on the streets, and that question is, will Bitcoin ever reach zero? If it's your first time watching, please consider smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel and help me grow the channel. Without wasting any time, let us get into the video. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency ever created back in 2009, and it remains the most popular and valuable digital currency in the world today. It's also worth mentioning that the idea of having a digital currency is not a new one. Prior to cryptocurrencies, many attempts at creating one had taken place. The main issue most of them were facing was the double spending problem. Double spending is a fundamental flaw in a digital cash protocol in which the same single digital token can be spent more than once. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin were able to prevent this problem by using a consensus mechanism known as proof of work. Bitcoin first became available to buy, sell, and trade on online exchanges in 2010. Bitcoin was originally worth next to nothing. Before February 2011, Bitcoin was not even worth $1. It was only in April 2011 that the price of Bitcoin crossed the dollar threshold for the first time in its history. By June 2011, the price of Bitcoin had shot up 30 times, reaching a value of $30. Bitcoin would go on to enjoy a meteoric rise, with Bitcoin reaching a record high in November when it nearly hit $68,000. Since November 2021, Bitcoin has struggled with the rest of the market. The Big B has been in a free fall since the beginning of 2022. Even though Bitcoin went from being worth next to nothing to reaching record highs of 68,000, there are still Bitcoin detractors who believe that the price of Bitcoin will crash back to zero. An example of such detractor is prominent Bitcoin critic Peter Schiff, who in a recent interview urged cryptocurrency investors to sell their holdings and spend the profits on physical gold before they lose everything. Peter Schiff can be quoted saying, "My advice to people in crypto is get out. You could still get almost 17,000 for your worthless Bitcoin. I would suggest that take it and buy some gold." Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger, the right-hand man of legendary investor Warren Buffett, recently claimed that Bitcoin was very likely to go to zero, adding that the cryptocurrency was stupid and evil. If I had to answer the question, will Bitcoin ever reach zero, my answer would be it's highly unlikely, but it's possible, and I will explain what I mean by that. It's highly unlikely that Bitcoin will ever reach zero because of Bitcoin's limit cap. This means that the law of demand and supply is in full swing. There is a finite amount of Bitcoin, and thanks to the cap, Bitcoin remains a relatively scarce and coveted currency, thus it is likely to have value over time. Another reason that makes me of the view that Bitcoin is unlikely to reach zero in value is the rise in acceptance and adoption of Bitcoin by countries, institutions, and corporations. The Central African Republic recently became the second country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. The Central African Republic are following in the footsteps of El Salvador. Furthermore, more and more corporates are accepting Bitcoins as payment. There is already an extensive list of corporates such as Starbucks, AT&T, and Microsoft that allow payment of services through Bitcoin. JP Morgan stated that they are using blockchain for improving money transfers and also using the technology for lowering the payment processing and the verification time needed for large payments. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole have a place in this world and are not going anywhere. The time for digital currency has arrived, and now is the time. As I have already mentioned, it's unlikely that Bitcoin will reach zero, but it is technically possible for any cryptocurrency's price to crash to zero, as seen with the Terra Luna price crash. It is possible that there could be an emergence of a new cryptocurrency that could simply supersede the Bitcoin or a similar alternative payment system, rendering it obsolete and therefore worthless as a payment method or store of value. This scenario would likely take several years if not decades to play out. It is also possible that the powers that be could pass laws and legislations that ban Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This would make Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general illegal, which would start a snowball effect which would lead to trading and using Bitcoin illegal, and could lead to a crash of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. While such scenarios are highly unlikely and are extreme situations, Bitcoin could still technically crash to zero. In 2018, Yale University economists estimated that the probability of the largest cryptocurrency collapsing to zero was 0.4%. This figure sounds like it's low, but if you put it in context, one will realize that it's substantial. Two Yale economists calculated the chances of government-backed world currencies failing. Their calculations found that the chances of the euro would become worthless is 0.009%, the chances the Australian dollar would become worthless are 0.003%, and the chances that the Canadian dollar would become worthless measures at 0.005%. So Bitcoin's 0.4% probability may sound minuscule, but it is a substantial risk when compared to other traditional currencies. That's all that I have for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button and sharing this content to any of your friends. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.